Dillian, the body snatcher right here. It's a champ. Big up to Sporting Icon. Subscribe. Otherwise, I might pay you guys a visit.
Right, everyone. So there are plenty of articles flying around this morning, and I'll put one of them in the description box for you guys, where it reads that Otto Wallin landed more punches on Tyson Fury than Deontay Wilder. He's only one ahead of Derek Chisora, so Derek Chisora is in like second place, and even more punches than Wladimir Klitschko. So out of all the opponents that Tyson Fury has fought, Otto Wallin landed more punches on Tyson Fury. And a lot of the articles, listen, they all say different things and give different reasons, but the majority of them are kind of suggesting that maybe John Fury was right, that Ben Davison should be binned off. He's a fighter on the decline now, and against a fighter like Otto Wallin, he shouldn't have been hit that much, as he's not seen as an elite fighter, and all these kind of things, that maybe the strength and conditioning isn't quite where it should be, all that kind of thing. Now, for me, I need to counteract a couple of those points. Now, I'm not saying that none of those are definitely correct, not at all, okay? What the hell would I know? But from my opinion, from my perspective, it's a case of that Tyson Fury, he was getting hit a lot more because of that cut. He was fighting predominantly with one eye, okay, for, what, 9 rounds of that fight. So when you look at it that way, it's no great surprise. In addition to the fact, Otto Wallin, while he may not be in the same bracket as a Wladimir Klitschko or these kind of guys, but fact is, because people don't know about him, don't mean he ain't that good, okay? Just because his resume doesn't show that he's been in there with killers and easily dominated all of them, or his knockout ratio is stupidly high, doesn't mean that he's not very good. Okay, just because somebody hasn't heard of somebody doesn't mean that they're no good. And boxing shows us this time and time again. He was a southpaw, he's tall, so his reach wasn't that far behind Tyson Fury. But the fact is, it was a punch that landed on Tyson Fury which caused the cut. It wasn't a clash of heads. The second cut was a clash of heads, but the first one wasn't. So again, we can look at it that way, but fact is, it's a boxing match, okay? You're supposed to get hit. Okay, there's no way that Tyson Fury can go 12 rounds and not get a glove landed on him. Of course not. That would just be absolutely ridiculous. And I know that a lot of the Tyson Fury fanatical fans, they put him on some kind of pedestal where they say that Tyson Fury, if he doesn't want you to hit him, then you can't. He's the most skilled heavyweight on the planet, and maybe of all time, and this, that, and the other, and he's super fast, and he's superly intelligent inside the ring. All these things, of course, they have a very good point. He is an elite fighter in that ring. Well, sorry, he's an elite boxer, okay? Now, but that doesn't mean he's not going to get hit. That doesn't mean from time to time he's not going to have to go through a war and moments of severe anxiety for him and his fans, okay? It's going to happen, all right? He's not invincible. We've seen him hit the floor on plenty of occasions, okay? And him getting cut, it's not the first time he's been cut. Tyson Fury even uppercutted himself once in the ring. You guys will remember that. And Tyson Fury even did a stand-up about it as well, which is actually pretty good. But the fact is, for people to say that Tyson Fury's on the slide because of what happened to Otto Wallin, I understand the point, because one of my points was that his reflexes seemed off. As in, I don't know if he's improved that much since the Wilder fight to now. I really don't know. But in addition to that, we could say, well, maybe Tyson Fury overlooked Otto Wallin. Maybe. Okay, whereas if he's got a game opponent, such as who has a reputation of a fierce knockout, like a Wladimir Klitschko, like a Deontay Wilder, he's more switched on. So he's more cautious, okay, where he needs to keep them at arm's length so they can't land their one big knockout punch. So maybe it was a case of that. He didn't treat Otto Wallin with the same kind of respect that he was treating Wilder and Klitschko, and that, of course, as well. But as I said, I do believe that the cut in the round number 3 has a lot to do with it. So for people to say that Tyson Fury's on the slide, I don't necessarily see him on the slide because we don't know. Had he not have had that cut, who knows what would have happened? I would imagine that the fight would have been totally different. But the fact is, he still won that fight handedly. Okay, yes, of course, he had his real issues in round number 12 where he got caught, where if Otto Wallin had a bit more energy about him or was a bit more of a killer or a bigger puncher, who knows? Maybe he would have got Tyson Fury out of there in round number 12. Ultimately, we don't know. But as I said before, I do feel that if you put a killer in front of him, you put Klitschko Wilder, then that's when we're going to see him at his best. You put in there a Joshua or a Dillian Whyte, these kind of guys, he's going to be more switched on. That's how I see it. I'm not going to say that Wilder is not going to land a glove on Tyson Fury in the rematch and won't knock him out, or Dillian Whyte wouldn't knock him out, or Anthony Joshua wouldn't knock him out, because all of these guys can quite capably knock him out cold. It can happen. Just because he got up like a zombie or The Undertaker or something from Night of the Living Dead in round number 12 against Wilder doesn't mean he's going to get up. There's a lot of people say, well, clearly he's got an iron jaw and this, that and the other. Okay, there's only so many of these punches you can get hit with before you just don't get up. Okay, but listen, ultimately we don't know. We're really gonna have to wait and see how the rematch pans out. I don't believe that Tyson Fury is a worse fighter than what he was when he fought Wilder. How could he be? Okay, Tyson Fury, his ring sharpness, his ring rust was evident in that fight. He looked awkward in that fight. But Wilder, thankfully for Tyson Fury, the skill levels are worlds apart when it comes to these particular fighters. But if he was in there with a Dillian Whyte, with an Anthony Joshua, or even a rematch with Wladimir Klitschko at that point on December the 1st, I don't quite think that he would have went that way. I think that these guys may well have got him out of there at that point due to their ring IQ. Okay? Listen, it is what it is, but ultimately we have to wait and see. I do understand people's frustration or concern even when they look at Tyson Fury. But as I said, I do feel that maybe he overlooked Otto Wallin, didn't take him that serious. In addition to the fact that Otto Wallin's southpaw, and of course, in addition to the fact that he had that cut in round number 3, which is going to affect any fighter, because it isn't just a case of it's hampering your vision at times, but you're worried that the fight is going to get called off. The referee or the medical team will put a halt to that fight, which would have awarded Otto Wallin a victory by technical knockout because it was a punch that caused it, not a clash of heads. So he's going to have that on his mind, which means game plan A and game plan B may not have been that effective. Okay, it was a case of just try not to get hit too much on that eye, okay, and just nick the rounds. Okay, so for me, I don't draw too much into that fight with Otto Wallin, except for the fact his reflexes seemed off even before he got that cut. But for me, that's my only real concern, that if his timing and his reflexes ain't there against Wilder, there's a very good chance Wilder's going to connect with that one big punch and put Tyson Fury out, especially as the rounds go on, because Tyson Fury can start to fatigue a little bit or at times get brave. When he gets brave, that's when he gets caught. Okay, he forgets the fact that a big puncher could legitimately put him out. You see, it happened against Deontay Wilder round number 9, and then of course in round number 12. Although to be fair, round number 9 was more of a flash knockdown, but round number 12 it was a legitimate. He got caught by a big punch, the big right hand of Wilder, and as he was going down, he got caught with a left hook from Wilder as well. And yeah, he managed to get up, and he did beat the count, by the way, people. But it's just difficult to really put into context because we don't know. We just don't know how he's going to be in the rematch. Maybe it was just Otto Wallin. You know, he's an awkward fighter. Because we haven't seen him in there with some of the top guys, doesn't mean Otto Wallin is not a capable fighter. You know, he was ranked quite highly and he's been undefeated for a while. So he's got something about him, okay? And he does have a couple of decent names on the resume, but nobody that make you go, oh, that was a good victory. But this, again, you have to remember, this was his moment, okay? He went there to make a name for himself, to get a reputation, to be the slayer of Tyson Fury. There's so many different things to put into it. For me, I mean, again, there's stats out there saying that Tyson Fury landed more power punches than what he did with his jab, which is awkward. But fact is, okay, they still count it, even though he switches to orthodox and he switches to southpaw and whatever. Okay, so even though he's fighting at southpaw, which means his right hand, his power punch hand, is the one that's jabbing. But they're still going to put it down as a power punch. So anyway, listen, it is what it is. For me, the stats don't really read too much into it, in my opinion. Ultimately, we'll have to wait and see. Time will tell. If he's not good enough, he's going to get sparked by Deontay Wilder, isn't he? If he is good enough and he is switched on and his reflexes are there, and it was the cut that caused what happened against Otto Wallin, then he's going to absolutely school and embarrass Deontay Wilder. ultimately we'll have to wait and see how the fight goes, won't we? That's all we can do. Anyway, listen, that's just my thoughts. Of course, you guys may have a different train of thought on all this, but either way, drop your thoughts below in the comment section, click the thumbs up, and of course subscribe, and I'll catch you all on the very next video.